Ever wondered what could have been in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie if those lost scenes had made the cut? The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, released in 1995, was a cultural phenomenon that captured the hearts of many fans around the world. Filming the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie wasn't a smooth ride. The script went through several drafts, and scenes were constantly being added, removed, or reworked. This process led to some interesting scenes being left on the cutting room floor. One major challenge was balancing the fine line between action and humor, ensuring the movie appealed to both fans of the show and new audiences. The filmmakers had to make some tough decisions about what to keep and what to cut. Recently uncovered draft of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie script, dated October 15, 1994, reveals some juicy details about the film's development, co-written by Arnolson and David Kemper. This early draft included several elements that didn't make it into the final 1995 movie, as uncovered by Den of Geek website. The original draft suggests a different tone that could have resulted in a very different viewing experience. Let's peel back the curtain on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. Focusing on those cut scenes were left on the cutting room floor, and the behind-the-scenes chaos that sculpted the final cut. Alright, the opening of the film we're all familiar with is the opening scene of the Rangers. Tommy, Kimberly, Billy, Rocky, Adam, and Aisha just hit the pavement after that epic skydive. But get this, the draft script from 1994 had some totally different lines from the Rangers leading up to the rollerblading part. Photos and extra footage of the Rangers cruising through the streets of Angel Grove on rollerblades. Pretty cool, huh? So after that skydiving and rollerblading montage, the scene rolls right into the Waterside Cafe, which is basically the movie's version of the juice bar. Now, if you've seen the TV series, you know, Ernie's Juice Bar at the Angel Grove Youth Center was the go-to spot for smoothies, workouts, and all that bulk and skull comedy gold. But for the movie, shot in Australia to bring a big screen feel, producers reimagined it as a fancy waterfront hangout. There's this good moment where Tommy is coaching this kid named Fred on how to do a roundhouse kick. Fred tries to show off but almost knocks over Ernie's tray. Suddenly, Tommy's wrist communicator beeps, and we hear Alpha 5E's urgent voice, "Rangers, we need you at the command center, stat." The whole team looks around to find a way to morph out through this giant oak tree in the cafe. Honestly, this Waterside Cafe scene would have really grounded the Rangers as mentors to Fred. It showed them living their normal teen lives before they got pulled into their hero roles. One of the most fascinating what-if scenarios from the production of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie involves a group of villains that were filmed but never made it to the screen. An early draft script from 1994 laid out an initial plan for the Rangers' first big screen antagonists, a menacing group of animalistic rat creatures. The script detailed a key sequence where the Power Rangers would confront these creatures in a gritty battle at a construction site. This concept moved far beyond the page, but it was part of a production facing several creative challenges. Compounding the issues was a major debate about the Ranger helmets themselves. The film's producers initially felt that the fully covered helmets removed the actors' ability to express emotion. Their original plan was to have the actors film morphed fight scenes with their helmet visors open, revealing their faces. Production photos from the construction site set confirm this, showing the actors in full costume, fighting the rat creatures with these modified, visor-less helmets. However, the producers eventually realized that the anonymity of the masked heroes was central to the Power Rangers concept. The decision was made to reshoot the morphed fight scenes with the full screen-accurate helmets. While the helmet issue was resolved, the rat creatures faced a different fate. When filmmakers reviewed the footage, they concluded that the costumes were deemed too cheap-looking. The common knowledge is that the giant rat costumes were deemed too poor for the big screen. Yet this existing behind-the-scenes footage proves that the scenes were, in fact, filmed. Despite having been shot, the footage remains unreleased, surviving only through these production glimpses. It didn't hold up to the higher quality standards of a feature film. The decision was made to scrap the rat creatures entirely, and their scenes were left on the cutting room floor. This led to the creation of Iva News's iconic Uzman as their replacements. But the story doesn't end there. In a classic case of TV thriftiness, the rat creature costumes were later repurposed for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers television series, appearing in the popular Return of the Green Ranger story arc. The role of Dulcia was originally given to Gabrielle Fitzpatrick, but she was forced to withdraw due to emergency surgery, leading the studio to rush in Mariska Hargitay as a replacement. Hargitay filmed the entire training scenes, which production photos confirm was complete. The most compelling evidence comes from these images. A striking photo captures Hargitay's Dulcia, the creature Snoggle, and the Rangers still in their civilian clothes gathered intimately around a campfire, suggesting the cut fireside chat. This rare behind-the-scenes footage captures a moment from the filming of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie 1995. Specifically, it shows a deleted of the scene where the heroine Dulcia, played by Mariska Hargitay, trains the Power Rangers in the skills they'll need as Ninjetti warriors. The scene, which appears in a slightly different form in the final movie, takes place on the planet Phaedos, which is actually the lush and beautiful Dulcia's garden as described in Draft Script 1994. The footage shows Dulcia demonstrating her incredible agility. She is performing a difficult acrobatic feat, walking on her hands across a narrow wooden log over a pond, all while teaching the Pink Ranger about the balance of mind, body, and spirit. The waterfall in the background provides that epic, fantastical environment key to the movie's look. The draft script snippet details Kimberly and Hart, the Pink Ranger, played by Amy Jo Johnson, attempting the challenge, only to lose her balance and fall into the water. This moment of relatable failure is designed to show the physical and mental difficulty of the training, and to highlight her journey toward becoming a stronger warrior, earning the spirit of the crane. This is a production photo of the stuntwoman being performed for Kimberly. The stuntwoman in the pink Ninjetti outfit is almost certainly Sophia Crawford, who was the regular stunt double for Amy Jo Johnson. Kimberly Hart in the movie. You can clearly see the thin wires and harness attached to her, indicating that this shot was for the moments when she would be precariously balancing, or perhaps for a shot just before her scripted fall into the pond. Another scene takes place in Dulcia's garden, where Rocky DeSanto's Red Ranger, played by Steve Cardenas. The script reveals that Dulcia Mariska Hargitay challenges Rocky to embody the spirit of the ape, stating that it is strong, but more importantly it is flexible and free. This production photo still captures the intensity of the scene between actor Steve Cardenas Rocky in his red Ninjetti training clothes and Mariska Hargitay Dulcia. The expressions suggest a serious moment just before or after the training instruction. Here is look at rare B-roll footage. It shows a crew member assisting Dulcia, likely a stunt double on the set platform, possibly checking a harness or preparing for the complex climb or landing that her character performs flawlessly. As described in the draft script, Rocky is humbled by her skill. When he tries the challenge to get his ape spirit, he gets 15 feet up the 20-foot pole, loses his grip and plummets to the ground. For others, Rangers scene. I only find rare B-roll rehearsal footage for Billy Cranston Blue Ranger, played by David Yost Ninjetti Training scene. This B-roll rehearsal footage shows the man in the black tank top is David Yost, and a woman he is training with is likely a stunt coordinator or the stunt double for Dulcia, rehearsing the combat choreography. This raw footage reveals they are practicing with sticks which, described in the draft script, are referred to as spinning whistling sticks. This confirms the dynamic nature of the fight choreography planned for the scene. The fact that Dulcia is blindfolded during the fight from the draft script, a detail not visible in the rehearsal footage, is the central element of the scene. It forces the logical Billy to confront a challenge that requires him to trust intuition and primal senses, ultimately leading to him being thwacked and humiliated in the water. Finally, I find a B-roll footage of Tommy Oliver's White Ranger, played by Jason David Frank in his white Ninjetti training outfit scene. He is psyching himself up for the jump, which is shots confirmed from the draft script. Natural outdoor setting used for the sequence. Also, it shows Mariska Hargitay Dulcia standing next to Tommy's feet on the towering rock, establishes the dramatic height of the challenge, and her smiling confidently in the lesson she is imparting. Dulcia teaches Tommy about to embody the falcon spirit, noting it never struggles with the air, but rather becomes one with it. Also, there is a B-roll footage capture stuntwoman for Mariska Hargitay Dulcia soars 50 feet jump required expensive wire work effects, as described from the draft script. Dulcia never struggles with the air, but rather becomes one with it. She leaps off the rock, soars 50 feet through the air, and lands on another protruding rock. Jason David Frank Tommy Oliver's in his white Ninjetti uniform on the outdoor set, psyching himself up. The raw footage perfectly aligns with the script's moment of internal dialogue. You can do this. You can do this. This is the vulnerable moment just before the major stunt. Tommy's immediate, comical drops like a rock splash into the water. All the training scenes is the theme for Rangers being stripped of their reliance on training, making them ready to find the true Ninjetti power. However, the production was plagued by delays, keeping Hargitay on hold for months. When she finally left to go home for Christmas, the producers, in a shocking move, abruptly fired her. The twist deepened when the now recovered Gabrielle Fitzpatrick was rehired to reclaim the role. This left the studio with a massive problem. An entire storyline already filmed with Hargitay. The producers made the brutal decision was to scrap nearly all of Hargitay's footage. Consequently, the complete Ninjetti arc was cut down and replaced by the single, short and jarring scene we see in the final film, where Fitzpatrick's Dulcia simply grants the Rangers their new powers with almost no build-up or training. From the draft script describes an action scene where the Rangers, having received their Ninjetti animal spirits in the final film's cut, the Rangers fight Guardian warriors outside the temple, a brief, somewhat generic battle. However, the draft script reveals a more dramatic, high-stakes scene. The Rangers, utilizing their newly mastered Ninjetti animal powers, battled the Tengu Queen and her warriors on a dangerous rope bridge over a chasm. The rope bridge sequence offered a superior, character-driven culmination to the training arc than the scene that made the final cut. After defeating the Tengu, the Rangers reached the monolith, marking a critical emotional turning point in the film. At their lowest moment, they struggle to open the monolith. Suddenly, a holographic Zordon appears, appearing frail yet functional, and delivers the vital clue. Only when the six become one will you have the strength to harness the great power. This inspires the team to unite, declare their respective Ninjetti animal spirits, and successfully harness the power by using their glowing emblems as mirrors to reflect the pyramid's light. They are successfully reflect the pyramid's light back onto itself, unlocking the energy source. In a brilliant flash, 6 beams of colored light envelop them, causing their new Power Ranger uniforms to instantly materialize. This miracle not only restores their morphed state, but also bestows the new power coins, stamped with their specific animal spirits, confirming their successful transformation into the unified Ninjetti-powered team. This draft script reveals that instead of teleporting directly to Angel Grove, the Rangers first arrive at the command center, with Alpha mourning the loss of a lifeless Zordon.
The emotional climax sees the Rangers use their newly acquired great power to restore Zordon, quoting the lesson they learned on Phaedos. To those who possess the great power, all things are possible. They form a circle, transfer energy into Zordon's column, and cause not only revives Zordon, but also instantly restores the command center to its pristine form. While the core scene bringing Zordon back is used in the final film, this draft sequence provides a more logical, triumphant reward for the Rangers' efforts before they head off to face Ivan Ooze. After successfully reviving Zordon, Alpha seeing Ivan Ooze's ectomorphicon machines leveling the city on the viewing globe, the teams immediately teleports from the command center to the streets of Angel Grove. There, facing the massive Hornitor and Scorpitron, Alpha instructs them to call upon their new power coins that will unlock their ninja Zords. The Rangers then insert their new coins, each stamped with their specific Ninjetti animal spirit, into their morphers and summon the towering, mechanical ninja Zords for the first time, officially kicking off the final battle. This detailed draft script reveals the final Megazord battle was originally far more spectacular than the movie allowed. Due to CGI costs, key action was cut. Critically, the fight involved the Megazord getting seriously damaged, being tossed into the Angel Grove First National Bank, before the Rangers activated the Ultra Ninja Megazord to lure Ivan Ooze into the path of Ryan's comet. The draft script ends not with the spectacular fireworks show seen in the final cut, but with a satisfying, character-focused conclusion back at the command center. After the victory, the Rangers are hailed by Zordon, who delivers an emotional tribute for their courage and success, leading the beaming team to celebrate with a victorious, freeze-frame jump for Alpha's camera. This ending then transitions directly into a fun, extended blooper-style sequence over the credits, featuring a revived Rita and Zed chasing and tormenting Goldar and Mordant for leaving them trapped in the snow globe. This ending prioritizes heart and humor, giving fans a final, intimate moment with the main cast. While the draft script's ending, featuring the emotional command center celebration, Zordon's heartfelt speech, and the final freeze-frame jump, a wonderful homage to the character focus and triumphant spirit of the first Mighty Morphin Power Rangers TV episode, the final cut's choice was ultimately a better fit for a blockbuster. That covers all the major cuts and changes from the Power Rangers movie draft script. Now I want to hear from you. What surprised you most about the cut scenes and script changes? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please take a second to subscribe and hit that like button. It helps me bring more lost scenes and script changes movies details to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.